Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba kung matututo?
If you want to explore all about science, come and join. Let us all learn. The science is fun. Science is cool. Watch and learn. The science is fun.
Hello everyone! How are you today? Welcome to your school on air in science. I am very happy to be with you to discuss our lesson in earth science. I am your teacher, Teacher Andre. So please listen carefully and you can have your notebook and ballpen for taking down notes as you listen to our discussion. Now shall we start? Are you ready? Now at the end of this episode, the students should be able to number 1, define the important terms used in volcanic action. Number 2, describe the different types of volcanoes. Number 3, classify volcanoes as active or inactive. And lastly, explain the types of volcanic eruption. Now to start our lesson, let us define the important terms used in volcanic activity. Now first is ash, fragments of rocks or fine-grained lava. Number 2, caldera, a volcanic crater that formed when a part of the wall of the crater collapses following an explosive eruption. Next is the cinder. It is a loose fragments of solidified lava. Next is cinder cone. These are characterized by narrow base and steep slope. Next is crater. It is a funnel-shaped depression at the top of a volcano formed as a result of explosive eruption. Next is composite cone. It is formed from the alternate solidification of lava and cinders characterized by large and symmetrical slope. Next is geothermal. It is a heat coming from inside the earth. Next is lava. It is a magma that has been ejected out of a volcano. Next is magma, a molten rock inside the earth. Shield cone. It is formed by the accumulation of lava resulting in a broad, slightly domed structure that resembles a warrior shield. Silica is a compound of silicon. Slope is a degree of slant or inclination. Next is summit, is the peak or the highest point. Next is viscosity. It is the resistance to flow, or the measurement of how sticky or syrupy of the liquid. Next is the volcano. It is an opening in the Earth's surface where molten rocks, smoke, gases, and ashes are erupted. Great job! Now, you are already familiar with the meaning of the following words. Let us now proceed with the first activity, entitled Get to Know the Volcanoes. For the instruction, identify what is being described, arrange the scrambled letters to get the correct words. Then, write your answer on the blank. Now take your time. Do not rush. I will give you enough time to answer.
No.
proceed. Did you know that the Philippines is located along the Ring of Fire? As a result, it is home to many volcanoes. The most famous among our volcanoes is the Mayon volcano, which is located in Albay. Mayon volcano is the world's most perfect volcanic cone.
Amazing!
Can you name some volcanoes in the Philippines? That's right! Very good!
Amazing!
Geologists generally group volcanoes into four main kinds. These are the cinder cone, the stratovolcanoes, the shield volcano, and the lava domes. Now, let's get to know more about the different types of volcanoes and their features. First is the cinder cone volcanoes. They are also known as the scoria cones and the simplest type of volcano. Now, They are built from ejected lava fragments, and they have a steep slope and wide crater. Example of this type is the Phreatomagmatic in Mexico. Secondly is the stratovolcano. It is also known as the composite volcano, and it is a tall conical volcano. It is large, nearly perfect slope structure formed from alternate solidification of both lava and pyroclastic deposits. The examples of these are Mount Mayon in Albay, Philippines, and Mount Fuji in Japan. This third type of volcano is the shale volcano. These are built out of layers of lava from continual eruption without explosions, since non-viscous lava can flow freely. A broad, slightly domed structure that resembles a warrior shield is formed. Now, an example of this type is the Mauna Loa in Hawaii. And the fourth type is the lava domes. Lava domes are built up by relatively small, bulbous masses of lava, too viscous to flow in any great distance. This cooler, thick lava usually rises near the end of an explosive eruption, and lava domes often from within the crater of stratovolcanoes. Example of this is the Mount St. Helens in the USA, which has several well-defined lava domes inside the crater.
Amazing!
Now, let us answer the next activity, which is to describe the different types of volcanoes. And for this, kindly use another sheet of paper when answering. Now, the next minutes will be allotted for you to answer the activity. Volcanoes are really interesting, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now that you already know about the type of volcanoes, let us proceed with the classification of volcanoes. There are several ways by which volcanoes can be classified. PVolcs have adopted a system to classify the Philippine volcanoes as active or inactive. Now, active volcano is currently erupting, or it has erupted in the last 10,000 years. These are the example of active volcanoes in the Philippines. Mayon volcano in Albay, where it had erupted 50 times as of 2013. Eruptions were recorded from 1616 to 2013. Next is Taal volcano in Batangas. As of year 2020, Taal volcano erupted 34 times for 448 years.
Amazing!
It is the second active volcano in the Philippines and considered as the smallest volcano in the Philippines.
Amazing!
Next is the Mount Canlaon, which is also an active volcano found in Negros Island, and it has erupted 26 times. Eruptions were recorded from 1886 to year 2006. Let's define inactive volcanoes. These are volcanoes that have not yet erupted for the last 10,000 years, and their physical form is being changed by agents of weathering and erosions through formation of deep, long gullies. Inactive volcanoes are Mount Tamburok in Biliran, Eastern Visayas, Mount Kokoro in the province of Palawan, and Mount Tagapo in Laguna del Bay. According to PVolcs, our country has more than 100 volcanoes as of the year 2013. 23 are active, while the rest are inactive. Now, let us classify the following volcanoes, whether it is active or inactive, based on the record of eruptions. Write your answer inside the box. You can always go back to the discussion in your learning activity sheet for reference. I will give you enough time to answer. now proceed. Now we are on the last part of our lesson. I hope you are still actively listening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That you have learned about the types and classification of volcano. Let us now continue with the types of volcanic eruption. Volcanoes erupt differently. They are generally classified as wet or dry depending on the magma's water content. Volcanoes are described according to the style of eruption as follows. First is the phreatic or the hydrothermal. It is a stream-driven eruption as hot rocks come in contact with water. An example is the Taal volcano.
Amazing!
Next is the Phreatomagmatic. It is a violent eruption due to the contact between the water and the magma. Now, as a result, a large column of very fine ash, high speed, and sideway emission of pyroclastics called surges are observed. An eruption in Bonin Island in Japan of Mount Fukutoku-Okanoba is an example. Third is the Strombolian. An example of this is the Mount Irazu eruption in Costa Rica. It is a periodic weak to violent eruption characterized by fountain lava. Oh my god! Another type of volcanic eruption is the volcanion. It is characterized by tall eruption columns that reach up to 20 kilometers high with pyroclastic flow and ash tall tephra.
Wow!
An example is the Mount Paricutin in Mexico. And lastly is the Plinian. Plinian is an excessively explosive type of eruption of gas and pyroclastic. This is known to be the most violent of all types of volcanic eruptions. An example is the Mount Pinatubo in Zambales.
Amazing!
Now we are now finished. I am glad that you made it until our last discussion for today's episode.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
And for the last activity, you are going to explain the types of volcanic eruption and kindly use another sheet of paper when answering. I will be giving you enough time to finish this activity. You may start now. know that you were able to learn the ideas and concepts behind in our
Yes, sir.
lesson.
Yes, sir.
Now, after performing various activities, I know that you are now equipped with all the ideas that will help you apply your knowledge in your day-to-day activity.
Oh my God!
Alright, see you in the next episode of our lesson. Goodbye everyone. God bless and keep safe always.
Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!